cold outside. I don't know where you are listening to us or watching us from around the world or what part of the country. But please do what you got to do to stay warm because before we went on air, Scotty D was just having a conversation. We live in the same region and it's fitting to get friggity frigid tomorrow. And hopefully at my night job, my manager finds it in his heart to call me off because he decided to put that bug in my ear yesterday, and I'm gonna have to hit him up on his cell phone number. Anyways, what's going on, world? This be your boy Eddie Cool, and welcome to another action-packed episode of your favorite sports podcast, none other than the Sports Bros Podcast. You know what? My name is Eddie Cool, and that was the incoherent rambling. So let's go ahead and introduce the other two guys, aka two of the best coaches in the world, manning the ship down in Fayetteville, North Carolina, with a very frigid 32 degrees and some ice on the ground. He is the almighty P Live.
What's happening? What's going on in the world today? I can tell you one thing that's going on in the world today. Y'all can keep that mess up there talking about single digits.
Well, hell, we don't want it
neither. 5 degrees, 5. Hell no. And I saw, man, watching that Bears game, I was like, "Ooh, yeah, yeah, y'all getting some flakes and some coldness." And the ball was. I feel bad for the kickers because that ball had to be rock solid. But man, oh man, hey, it's that time of the year. The temperature goes down, but it is very good time of the year when it comes to football. We're coming into the thick of things, into the thick of it. But yes, I don't do the singing part of this show. Go ahead and introduce the other guy and allow his talents to proceed with all the singing and the pipes warming up and the me. Yeah, the other guy, that guy. Mm-hmm.
And the other guy, he is the pride of Washington, Pennsylvania, and our very own John Lennon. I'm sorry, Paul McCartney. He's our very own Paul McCartney. He is the one, the only, the money man, Scotty D.
Vanilla ice, baby. Dun, 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 dun. Ice, baby.
Too cold.
No singing. It's too cold. It's too cold. It is going to go down to 4 tonight here in Western Pennsylvania. And tomorrow we're forecasting a high of 15. That does not count the wind. I was out the wind earlier today. I was putting some air in my tire. Woo! I don't know how you sit through 3 hours up in Chicago last night or in Boston going through all that. It's too much. It's too cold. Matt Stafford, his face looked like Tom Coughlin in Green Bay. Remember that when the Giants played?
Yeah.
I think Tom Coughlin's face got red that night and stayed that way for the rest of his life. It was brutal. It was brutal cold. And he had some of the receivers out there wearing no sleeves. And I think that's because from what I understand, the offensive players, they like to be able to feel the ball up against their skin. It's easier for them to fumble if they have material that slips off of. But linemen, you're not carrying a ball. Cover up, man. I would cover up. Anyway, we are down to the final 4 teams, and in my opinion, one of the most unlikely weakest Final Fours in NFL that I can ever remember. But let's dive into all that, Eddie. Cool. Let's take a deep dive into what happened because the drama carried over into today. It's still drama going on from the weekend. The residual effect, the ripple effect, if you will, happening today. Eddie, cool. Let's do it. Let's talk about the top of the order stuff.
Before we do that, Scotty D, what did you say in the group chat? For the first time, it'll be for the first time, it'll be a conference championship game, and the quarterbacks are was it like Drake May?
Yeah. At the time, Stroud was still in the mix, or Jared Stidham.
Yeah.
And the likely opponent of Sam Darnold.
Oh, boy.
Wow. Oh, boy. There are some Hall of Fame names in that mix.
You know how they do the graphic when they show like the 4 teams left with the 4 quarterbacks, and I'm looking at was it Santa Clara Stadium? Where is it? Santa Rosa? Santa somewhere. Santa Clara. Yeah. And they'll be looking at the stadium like Super Bowl, the game is here, and da-da-da-da-da. It's like, oh, boy, here we go. But anyways, with that being said, let's go ahead and hop right into it. The top of the order. All right, let's get this thing started. The order. All right, as Scotty D alluded to, we're down to the final 4 teams. But before that, we had a couple games this weekend. We made an executive decision, aka the post-production, pre-production meeting here at the Sports Post Podcast. 2 of these games we ain't gonna talk about because they were that damn bad. The 49ers get thumped 41-6. The 49ers get thumped 41-6 over and the Seahawks get the win, and then it was CJ Stroud further regressing, and the Patriots take care of business 28-16. So with that being said, let's talk about the fun games. All right. We had the Bears and the Rams. It went to overtime, and it was cold outside. Fellas, what do we think about that game?
Scotty D, I want you to lead off with this because you made a very, very, very valid point about the coaching decisions of one Ben Johnson. And looking at the way this score ended up.
Yeah. It's 2 weeks in a row I questioned both Ben Johnson and Sean McVay, who I value as 2 of the better, and McVay the best coach in the NFL. Maybe because I grew up watching a lot more conservative coaching. I think there's a time when you just have to take points in the playoffs instead of going for it over and over again. And the Bears on their opening drive got down there and they didn't take the points. Actually, I think they did. They tied. I think it was their second possession because the Rams scored first, made it 7-0. I think the Bears answered, made it 7-7. And then the Bears, however it went down. The Bears,
whatever.
Yeah, actually, I think it was the Bears' opening possession. They decided to go for it, didn't get the points, and it went for it. And then at the end of the game, after the most miraculous play in a long time in postseason, Ben Johnson has a chance to go for 2, which I thought that he would, and he did not. He kicked the extra point to go into overtime. I don't know what you guys thought. I personally thought that was the right decision for that one, but I second-guessed him throughout the game for not taking points, as I did last week as well against Green Bay. I mean, you have kickers and punters for a reason. They're not on the roster just to take up a spot. You need that. You need that kicker to get you those points, because twice towards the end of the game they could have used those 3 points. On the next to last possession, the Bears were down there and didn't score. Caleb Williams throws a 4th down. At that point, they have to go on 4th down. He throws an incomplete pass and gets knocked down, and the Rams take over. Well, had they kicked the earlier 2 field goals, they're taking the lead right there on a field goal. They were down 17-10. They could have had 6 additional points. They could have been down 1 point there with the field goal unit on the team, or to come out and give you the lead. Now, who knows what happens after that? Stafford still would have had a little bit of time to move down, but you would have had the lead. And I just, that makes me crazy. And Sean McVay wouldn't run the ball. It was such a lopsided pass to run ratio, and when he does run the ball, his team has success. He has good running backs, a good offensive line that run blocks very well. And I second guess both those coaches a lot in this game, but for sure Ben Johnson has to reconsider the Dan Campbell script of going for it on 4th down no matter what.
I hope that doesn't become a part of the coaching tree, because that's not good. Go ahead.
Well, let me ask you, Billy, what did you think about the go for 2? Did you think he made the right decision not going for 2 there?
Yeah, yes. I mean, I did a little research. I didn't do the 2-point conversion percentage, but with what we were talking about throughout the game, I was looking at the fourth down conversion percentage for the Chicago Bears. They had 48.78% success rate on 4th down, less than half, which was 23rd in the league. They weren't that good at converting 4th downs. Why would you pick now all of a sudden in the playoffs. All of a sudden we're gonna become a great fourth down team. That's not how this works.
And
So
they weren't fourth in inches where you push, because in that case, by all means.
and
They were like 4th and 3, 4th and 4, and they're running pass plays and such.
So
or actually they ran it a couple times up the middle and just got stuffed.
Yeah, that's not their strong suit. I know Ben Johnson. He thinks he's innovative and does all this stuff. That was a not a good decision, because this is what I want to do. I want to paint a picture in your head. Imagine if the Chicago Bears kicked one of those, just one of those field goals, as opposed to going for it and not getting it. At the end of the game, close to the end of the game, instead of it being 17-10, it'd have been 17-13. And then I want to do one, because if it's 17-16, that changes the offensive scheme, so where you're setting up for, you're going to kick a field goal.
I got you.
Mm-hmm. If it's 17-13, you have to get that touchdown. But just imagine if Caleb Williams pulls off that miracle throw and the Bears win the game, as opposed to tying it and going to overtime. Chicago would be going absolutely insane, and they would crown Caleb Williams, as opposed to now, hey, it was exciting. It got us to overtime, but we end up still losing. And now you start looking at all the mistakes that Caleb Williams made and the stuff like that. Then you really harp on where they at the one time they were 1 for 4 in fourth down conversions. They ended up 3 for 6 because of the late game heroics, that pass being one of them, and then another play in overtime. But beforehand, they were 1 for 4. And that's not a recipe for winning games, especially when 2 of those 3 you were in scoring range. You could have kicked a field goal. Those sometimes get coaches fired. Mm-hmm. Ben Johnson isn't going anywhere. He's done an incredible job, but those type of decisions, you look 5-10 years from now, and the Bears don't repeat that success, people will start looking back at what if, and what if. And so it's situations like that, you take the points. Yep. Points are such a precious commodity, especially in the playoffs. I understand you feel like you got a little bit of momentum and you don't want to, and you want to get the big points because you think that you got to. No, not in the playoffs.
Regular season. It's not regular season, late November, and you have a 2-game division lead. So if you lose, you're still in first place. This is no tomorrow with this.
You go home. You go home. Those decisions you pack up yourself. 1, 2, 3, Cancun. Yeah. And that's no team wants to be in that situation. And then to think back of a whole bunch of what ifs and coulda, wouldas. That's never a good situation. And that's what we're talking about right now, is the coulda, wouldas and the what ifs.
Yeah, that's not really what you want, because like you said, excuse me, points are at a premium in the playoffs. Just like you said, Scotty, it's not like, late November, we're going to risk it for the biscuit. Well, we got another couple games we got to play. No, you don't.
Especially in that freezing weather too, where it's hard to perform.
Something like that. You want to get in and out of that stadium as quick as possible. All right. You don't want to play for overtime. You don't. In this case, the less you do, the more you can guarantee yourself a chance to win and get up out of there, because there's no way in the world. So the Rams making it doing it do, and they will be headed
Did
the better team win?
I'd say so.
Yeah, the better coach team won. Yeah, the team that was better.
Well,
wait a minute. Did y'all see when the Bears, once again late in the game, went for it? I think it was 3rd and goal, and DeAndre Swift caught himself trying to hurdle somebody.
Oh yeah, he got blasted.
Lit.
Yeah. First of all, the defender he was hurdling came up just enough to interrupt that jump, and then he got cleaned up.
Yeah, it was like a doomsday device.
But how about that pass though? Did you see the one angle that was like even with the end zone where the ball looks like it's just floating, and then I mean, how he got that much separation because he didn't really push off, not that badly, but to be that open and to have Williams just lay that in there, it was just like a gift from God. It looked like the ball was just floating, and just landed
it,
perfectly. That was incredible.
it would seem like the highest religious position in the world was rooting for a said team. It just seemed like it's just floating in the air.
Yeah,
Hail Mary, Mother of Grace, and all kinds of stuff.
yeah.
Like, but and like you said, like there was a little bit of hand fighting. Good no call. Again, good no call by the refs on that.
Yeah, I
This
wouldn't have
was
called that.
yeah, good. But why? What they only could do one thing. Why was there only like two players in the end zone? How
Yeah,
like that's crazy to
yeah.
me. Like
I don't know. That was my first thought was, how does that happen? How is he by himself? Because I was rooting for the Rams. I was like, how is that possible? How
oh,
was he? How was he back there? But what an incredible play by Caleb Williams. I gained a little respect from him. I know he threw a couple bad passes that got turned over, and the very last one in overtime, I think it was more of a bad decision than than the execution. I don't know why they were throwing the ball that deep whenever all they had to do was chip away down the field and get to the kicker. But
that Scotty D, I watched that. I watched that video. I watched that replay. That is 100% on DJ Moore.
yeah, he didn't break the route
He
off.
did not.
Some type of miscommunication. But
Like he's supposed to be in front of the safety in that position.
but
And
why
he
are
did.
you throwing it? Why are you going that deep? It was 2nd and 15. You're in overtime. You're in control of the game. You're at midfield, I believe, when he threw I just didn't think they needed that much. I mean, they were at that point they had the momentum going back on their side. I didn't like the play call or the decision to throw it. But I tell you, if you're the Bears though, if you're the Bears fans, you got a lot to look forward to because I didn't see a whole lot of weaknesses on that team. They have stout defense. Their quarterback's only going to get better, which I think he's better now than he was in September. He looked for the most part pretty good. They can run. They probably maybe could use another top wide receiver maybe, and I think they're going to be back.
I think they're good at wide receiver. I really think, honestly, a running back maybe. I mean,
Yeah.
They did, yeah. I'm with you, Bill. I think they could upgrade it running back because I mean, think about it. Like wide receiver, you got Roma Dunze. They just drafted Luther Burden. They just drafted Colston Loveland. They already have Cole Kmet. I'm missing somebody.
Well, I mean, they from DJ Moore, yeah.
DJ Moore, yeah. They're in the unique position of being able to take the best possible player available when they come up to draft. I think. I mean, they're looking for some depth and experience, but
You're welcome.
I like them
Chicago
going
Bears.
You're welcome, Chicago. You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. You everything you owe, your success in Chicago, you owe it to us. You see that emblem on B Live shirt? Exactly. Thank you for Bryce Sean. We greatly appreciate it. But yeah, I will say this about Caleb Williams, man. He looks better. There's nowhere to go for him but up. And the right guy, Ben Johnson, offensive mastermind, offensive genius. The Bears will be a problem in the years to come. All right, fellas, let's go ahead and chat about the other game. Broncos, they win against the Bills 33-30. There were some questionable catches during the game, and you can guarantee that there will be some rules, some new rules this upcoming season. So I will say this, fellas. Was it an interception or was it not an interception? What y'all think?
It was absolutely 100% an interception. I can't say this enough. I'm sick of the internet. I'm sick. First of all, I'm sick of reputable sports sources resorting to rage bait. You have enough experts and rules analysts that know that it's an interception, yet feed into the frenzy that is the armchair quarterback. So here's a point of contention. A 50-50 ball was thrown. At one point in time, it does look like that the wide receiver does have his hands on the ball, but so does the defensive player. And people like to say, oh, the tie goes to the wide receiver. Here's the thing about a reception in the NFL. The reception has to survive the ground if you are unable to make a football move. Period, point blank. Mm-hmm. That was never established. When the wide receiver hit the ground, that's when the ball began to move. And guess what? The ball never touched the ground, and the defensive player ended up with it. That is by definition, by textbook definition, an interception. If it didn't end up in the defensive player's hands, if it had hit the ground, if it had hit the ground, it'd have been an incomplete pass. It wouldn't have been a fumble. That's the part I want people to see. If after the contact with the ground, if the ball hit the ground, it'd have been an incompletion. Mm-hmm. If he'd have made a football move with the ball and then the ball came out, it'd have been a fumble. But nobody can say in that situation that ball would have been a fumble if the defensive player ended up with it. It didn't end up happening. That's an interception. The offensive player never had full control of the ball, and he has to survive the ground. Now, you can have all the opinions in the world. That is my opinion. I think it's rooted in fact, but that is my opinion. Scotty D, what do you think?
My opinion's slightly different. I don't know how you make a football move when you have your hands on the ball and your back is on the ground. And the guy's touching you, so you're down. So what football move, how much more of surviving the ground do you need when you're laying on the ground with the ball in your hand? I mean, if the defender hadn't touched the ball, he would have caught the ball. If he rolls 5 more yards, where would they spot the ball? They would have spotted it where he first hit the ground, because that's a catch and down right there. You don't have to make a football move when you're on the ground. He caught it and had it taken off. I do understand what the rule says, and I've gone back and forth on it. But when I've looked at it multiple times, I just see a guy holding the ball with his back on the ground, and the other guy with his hand trying to take it from him. And as they roll over, then he takes it. I don't know how you can take the ball off of a guy who's already made the catch. And I think it's more of maybe the way the rule was written or stated. I don't know. To me, I always feel like my intelligence is insulted whenever you're telling me what is a catch and what isn't. When I see a guy catch it and go down and his back's on the ground, and as he's rolling through, I mean, how much of the ground do you have to survive if somebody can take it off you? They took it off of Devontae Adams in the game on Sunday, and they ruled him down. Now, I know he maybe can make the argument he was a runner and then his knee hit, but had Devontae Adams had the ball taken off and it lands on the ground, they would probably said incomplete pass. They didn't. The Bears took it from him, and they said it's a catch down by contact. Well, I kind of felt like the Cooks did the same thing. I think my opinion is he caught the ball back on the ground. You're down at that point, down by contact, and then he rolls through, and the other guy ends up with it. I don't think the other guy actually ever caught it. He took it off of a guy who was on the ground. So that's kind of where I differ on it. And I don't think it's clear. I think this could be argued to the end of time. What the NFL says, what Sean McDermott, what they all said, what ultimately happened, it cost Sean McDermott his job, and it probably cost the Bills the Super Bowl, because I think they would have gone and beaten New England next week. And that play, that play was decisive at that point. More to it than that is why the Bills didn't win that game. There's a lot more to it than that single play. But in that moment, I'm not sure why the NFL replay didn't take more time to really break it down, because I've seen some reviews that have lasted a long time that to me were very cut and dry. And this one, they seemed to go right through it like pretty quickly. And there's a theory out there is because they had already delayed the Seahawks game and they were just trying to get this game over with. Maybe I don't know that I don't know if there's any truth to that. Probably not, but it just seemed like it was a expedited review and a very important call. And I don't know. I personally don't. I can't make such a. I can't say it's an egregious mistake, but I think that it was a mistake. I think that the catch should have been the ruling.
I'm going to say this to alleviate some of the pressure off of this catch, non-catch, interception, everything like that. Because yes, that is a point of contention, as I mentioned before. But what did you think about the last play, the second of the last play to end the first half?
I think Josh Allen should have been taking a knee, and that's why I think
that is again
it's justifiable that there's going to be a coaching change because of that type of thing.
That was egregious. And the thing about it was, you know what? The passion of the game, the passion of the sport. You want to be aggressive. You want to try to go for something. But at some point in time, Josh Allen should have said, "Hey, yo, I'm not going to be able to get off a really good play. I need to just go ahead and get down, secure the ball, because we're just going to go. Just take it in the half." And guess what? Guess what?
They lost by 3.
Yeah, they lost by 3 points. Did those like you got to have a little bit of this, but and that's what like that is one thing that sort of happens with these younger coaches because it's more exciting to go for it. It's more exciting to for all this analytics and stuff like that. 4th and 3, go for it. Like these graphics I'm like, nah, take the points. I know I sound old. I know I got the gray hair, but these are proven things, and you're starting to see it. Starting to see. We've seen it the whole time. That costs games. Little things like that. Those extra 3 points. That not only does it change momentum, going into. I mean, they were already down 7, but now you're down 10. That's 2 possessions. That's a different mindset. Now, yes, it helped with a little sense of urgency. Buffalo definitely changed the game coming out the second half, and they were the better team in the second half. But still, you had those 3 points back.
It kind of goes back to what I said a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if it was last week or a few weeks ago, but I said I love Josh Allen. I think he's a beast. But what concerns me is his unwillingness to lose a down. Some downs, you have to throw the ball away or take a sack instead of fighting and then fumbling or throwing a pick or something. Sometimes you have to lose a down and then win the next down.
Yeah.
And I think Josh Allen has this heroic thing on his back, and he has to carry this team all the time that sometimes he's unwilling to do that, and it hurts. And it hurt him all day on Saturday. He was crying, and I understand him being hurt, but man, he did cost this team. And I know that team's not anywhere near that game without him, but he is the one that it's centered around. He is the one they rely on, and when he makes those types of I mean, he turned it over 4 times, and then there was a 5th by Cook, I think. The pass we were just talking about, the interception, that ball was underthrown. Cook had his man beat. That pass was underthrown, and he had a chance to hit Knox for a touchdown prior to the game tying field goal. He just didn't play his best, and maybe he's banged up, and maybe it's the stress of having to carry the team. But he was reckless, and that cost him.
Yeah, real quick. He told me that the Bills have like 14 players on the injury list. So that doesn't help. And then I don't know.
Bye week since September ain't enough.
No. I need it more than Ed Oliver, man. Buffalo.
And promote the general manager.
Yeah, Billy Bean and Sean McDermott. Before Carolina connection.
The GM should have got shown the door.
Crazy.
As well more today. But.
All right. right here on your favorite sports podcast, the Sports Bowls podcast. We started a conversation about a certain former head coach in Buffalo, and we about to continue that conversation. In case you forgot, it's reported today per Adam Schefter and all the reputable journalistic sources. Sean McDermott gone from Buffalo after they lost the game against the Broncos. Yeah, I
You
think
think John Harbaugh's saying, "Wait, did I say Giants? No, I meant Bills. I meant Bills."
yeah, I'm pretty sure like, oh,
I thought I
damn.
was taking the Bills job. I know I was headed to New York. I'm sorry. I meant Bills.
Yeah. But anyways, fellas, some would say that McDermott deserved to get fired, and some say he doesn't. Well, guess what? Here at the Sports Bowls podcast, we have our thoughts on that as well, too. And you know what? I'll go first. Well, you know what? B Live was chomping at the bit, so B Live, you go ahead and go.
when I the best,
That's what we waited to hear. That's what we were waiting for.
Yeah, this is me taking a deep breath before I say something I shouldn't say on the air.
I thought he pooed it. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Well, it's the diarrhea that was about to come out. But
Wow.
Oh boy.
let me just put it this way: I'm sick of trends. This is a trend fire. Doesn't make any sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I get that McDermott has made some bonehead decisions. Yes, that decision at the end of the first half does get a lot of coaches fired, but not with all the success that Buffalo had. Who do you think is going to get them over that particular hump? First of all, you got to get there to start with.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing. Like, what other coach do they think they got a chance? Do you think Mike Tomlin goes to Buffalo? He's not one known to get teams over the hump. Like, this was a trend fire. I think they were looking already at this point in time. I think this is a firing because if the Buffalo Bills didn't win the Super Bowl, Sean McDermott has to. This decision was made before the playoffs. This was not a knee-jerk reaction. This was a decision that was made before the playoffs even started. If the
So it's
Bills,
not a trend. We talked about it in September.
well, the thing about it, well, I think the firing came also due to the fact that the other coaches that got fired, Harbaugh, Tomlin, Stefanski, then the other is like, it doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't, because I'm the type of person, you know, I've been taught. This is something I've been taught. If I'm at a job, I don't like the job, and I want to go get another job. I get another job,
Yeah.
before I quit the job that I'm at.
Right.
Flip the coin on that. If I'm a general manager, I have to have somebody in mind when I make this decision. And then my question to you and to the GM, who do you have in mind? Who exactly do you think is going to do better than Sean McDermott? Somebody can answer that question for me, because again, John Harbaugh has made his decision already, and he's with the Giants. I would see that as making sense with the Buffalo Bills. That would be an upgrade going from Sean. The thing about this, that might not even necessarily be an upgrade, because I've even questioned some of John Harbaugh's coaching decisions and the amount of talent that the Baltimore Ravens have had. And it's like, bro, you can't make this happen somehow? Maybe it's you.
Yeah.
Like, there's been enough blame on Lamar Jackson, and I feel like there's not been enough blame on Josh Allen. Hey, this is the time. People, use that same energy you had on Lamar Jackson on Josh Allen. This wasn't.
I think he's getting plenty of energy today.
Oh yeah.
I've heard a lot of energy going at him today.
Yeah.
But McDermott gets fired. So,
but you're not going to fire a
you can't
28-year-old quarterback or whatever he is, who's in his prime, was the MVP of the league last year.
Yeah, but who again? My question, it comes back to who in the GM's mind that gets promoted after not supplying the team with this amount of talent around Josh Allen. He gets promoted, and then they fired the head coach. Make sense. And who is there some bright offensive mind somewhere out there like Ben Johnson that's going to come and turn around get him over the hump? I don't know. This one's baffling to me. This one's really baffling. I don't know.
Scotty D, what say you, sir?
I think it was starting to get stagnant.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Allen's now 29. He's still in his prime. But how many times are you going to get into the playoffs and spin your wheels? It wasn't just this loss. They had the 14-second debacle against the Chiefs a few years ago to go to the Super Bowl. They squandered. They let the Chiefs come back and win. They had gave up a late lead to the Chiefs last year in the championship game. And this year, all you have to do is get past Bo Nix, and you get to face your division rival, and you didn't do that. And there were some games in the regular season along the way that got squandered that maybe would have had this game at home. You might have had an opportunity to have a home field advantage, at least at some point. I mean, it's hard to go on the road and win 3 times to get to the Super Bowl, even if Mahomes is at home and Burrow is at home and Lamar is at home. But it's just the job is just not getting done. The job is just not getting done. They're coming up short, and this is a quote-unquote generational talent. And Josh Allen was, like I said before, largely responsible for that loss on Saturday. But maybe you got to have a button it up a little bit. You know, you got to tighten the screws on him. You have to concentrate. Josh, we got to throw the ball away. We're not going to run the ball and try to score with 12 seconds to go from deep in our own territory. Things like that. There's a lot of small things that add up like that. And I think it just became time. Now, who you replace him with, that's a great question. I heard the name mentioned, and I don't remember what it was, but a guy that I think early in Josh Allen's career was a third-string quarterback, and he's a coordinator for somebody now. They might be interested in bringing him back. He's a super young guy, but someone they said Allen trusted and kind of was running the quarterback's meeting room, so to speak, when he was still on the roster, and I can't remember the guy's name.
It wasn't Joe. Was it not Joe Brady? They talked about.
No, he already was. He already was.
Yeah, he was already there.
I don't know. I think I do think you need to have an offensive-minded coach come in. I think this general manager who got promoted, he needs to tighten it up too, because it was reported today that he could have had Jalen Waddle the trade deadline for a draft pick and chose not to do that. That would have been an extra weapon. It would have been nice to have him on Saturday, especially with Gabe Davis being hurt. He needs to secure some more defensive players, some more defensive help. And I think Buffalo could use an extra lineman. That part of the reason why Josh Allen's running around all the time is because he is under pressure, and he's not just straight dropping back and reading the offenses. He's actually at his best when he's kind of scrambling around and running around a little bit. But you got to rein some of that in. You got to tighten some of that up. And I mean, how many more times are you going to just go to the playoffs and lose with McDermott? I think something had to be done. And that doesn't mean I don't think McDermott's a great coach. And I think he's going to be a really good coach next year in Vegas. He's going to be getting the guy who wins the game tonight is going to be the face of the franchise in Vegas. And who better than an established coach like McDermott to bring Mendoza along? I don't know. I'm putting the cart before the horse here, but I do think that Buffalo kind of needed a breath of fresh air and a change of voice in the locker room.
I think when it comes to Buffalo, excuse me. I think when it comes to Buffalo, they looked at the Pittsburgh situation. Good coach, winning games. McDermott gets the most out of his players. Tomlin got the most out of his players. But there's that proverbial, that ceiling or that hump. And so I guess Buffalo's like, we don't want that to happen, so we got to do something. And if you ask me, was it knee jerk? I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know, but the thing about it is, I always look at it like this: when coaches get fired, and you know, like B-Live said best, there must or you guys can say as well too, there must be somebody out there that they see and that they have their eye on to bring in. Because like what McDermott won because he won 90, he won 98 games, like 2 games away from winning 100 games in Buffalo.
Yeah, he was like 98 and 50 or something like that.
Yeah,
his record was solid.
Yeah, it was great, but I guess Buffalo, I mean, you got to think about it look at the history of the Buffalo Bills, especially during the 90s. 4 straight Super Bowls appearances, 0 Super Bowls.
And that still said that right there still lingers with the fan base of today.
Yes.
So maybe the impatience level, like they feel like and the thing about it is, even with that, the Bills aren't even achieving that part. They're not even getting to the Super Bowl.
Mm-mm.
So I will hear that out where the patience and the stagnation, I can hear that. And I'm like I said, I've changed my energy when it comes. I just still feel and especially losing this late in, like, I guess it's still it's still right in finding the right coach. There's a lot of candidates still out there. I feel like they're a week behind pace of everybody else, but only two coaches have been hired out of now 9 positions for head coaches. So it's like, I guess I think they'll find somebody. I still just don't trust the GM. I do not trust him at all.
And it's a fine line from where McDermott is or where he could have been. Think about it, if they rule that play for Brandon Cooks a catch, they probably will kick a field goal and win the game. And then there's a good chance that they beat New England. That's their division rival. And I would take the more experienced Josh Allen team over Drake May in the playoff game in a chance to go to the Super Bowl. And who knows what happens if you get there? You might win the Super Bowl. Yeah. So a month from now, McDermott could have been looking for a place to park his car for the parade instead of where he's going to park to work next year.
Yeah. You don't fumble the ball with 3 seconds to go in the first half and give up 3 more points.
Yeah,
that could easily, because you might never need that catch. What the boy name you said?
Cooks.
You're Brandon Cooks, yeah. I just think about his short tenure with the Cowboys, Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, man, good year down there.
But yeah, again, McDermott, I think he's going to get another head coaching position, and a team. Maybe,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Maybe Arizona.
I think he's custom fit for Vegas.
He's custom fit for Vegas.
Vegas,
because Vegas, you're getting what's looked at as probably the next big quarterback of the future. Arizona doesn't know what they're doing.
Yeah, they don't. They
don't know what they're doing. A quarterback.
I think Arizona knows that. It might be time to cut bait with Kyler Murray.
I think that's going to happen.
They've already pretty much already determined that.
And what's going to happen? So you go over there, you take that job if you're McDermott, because he's suddenly the top candidate.
Oh yeah.
You ask me.
Yeah.
And if you're Vegas and you have the top pick and you have this guy who's helped develop Josh Allen through the years, I think it's a no-brainer. I think that's your guy.
Yeah, that is true, fellas. That is true. All right. With that being said, that does it for some NFL talk. We'll talk about the conference championship next week.
Should we make our picks for this?
Yeah, let's make.
Oh, you know, I'm tripping. My brain is already in Super Bowl mode, fellas.
Well, yeah, and listen, and not to completely skip over the fact that New England and Houston had a pretty decent game. It was sloppy, and CJ Stroud was bad. And not to overlook the fact that Seattle dominated the breaks off of San Francisco. There was so much unpacking these two games. So we were not trying to disrespect those other two games and fan bases. It just was, there's just way too much. We don't have.
I am absolutely all about disrespecting the fan base, especially the San Francisco 49ers, bang, bang, Niner gang, disrespectful.
Okay.
My dad is rolling over in his grave from with that performance from the 49ers. Yeah. Bang, bang, Niner gang. All right. No, I'm going to ask this question real quick.
All right.
Seattle, are they the real deal?
Well, let's incorporate into our picks next week. Are you picking Seattle next week?
I am. I'm picking Seattle.
I'm picking Seattle. Seattle looks dangerous. Beli did break a story earlier before we went on air. The exact Charbonnet tore his ACL. Out for the remainder of the season. Don't matter. They got they got K9, so they'll be fine. They got JSN. Sam Darnold didn't seem too much affected, and that damn defense. That defense probably won a lot of people some money during the fantasy football season. I'm all in on the Seahawks. That'll be the only time as a normal beast chief, I'll ever root for a Seahawk. If
Never.
they're in Seattle. And then I remember that time when I went to Seattle, I almost got attacked by one of them ugly Seahawks. So go ahead, fellas. Go ahead.
They looked awfully good the other day, and even with Darnold having that little oblique injury, that was a non-factor. They just ran the 49ers completely off the field. That defense is so stout; they don't even need to blitz. They're getting home with 4-man rush. That defense is no joke at all, and they got speed. I mean, Smith and Jigba is a fantastic receiver. What he catch 1,700 yards this year, or something crazy like that. The only team in the NFL I think that could legitimately beat this team is the one they're playing this week. I think the Rams are the only one. They played each other head to head. Their point differential was +1 over 2 games for the Rams. They have almost identical offensive yards. The Rams have the top scoring offense. Seattle has the top scoring defense. It's a tall task to go in, ask the Rams to go in and win in Seattle. But they have a closed dome, so the Rams are going to be back indoors after enduring this brutal, freezing cold test that they just passed in Chicago. Because I picked the Rams earlier this year to go to the Super Bowl, I have to stick with them. I can't backtrack on that now. So I'll go with the Rams, even though Seattle looks like they could beat anybody in history right now. They just look that good. They destroyed. But the 49ers were pretty. They were beat to hell. They were pretty beat up and they just ran out of gas. But I'll put myself on the line and take the Rams. This past week, I was the only one that got only 2 right. Be Live, you swept them all, and Eddie, cool, you lost the Bears game. I was the only one. Your only loss. So
help the Bear.
I was the big loser on picks last week. But what about the AFC? Anybody daring to take the Jared Stidham Broncos? Anyone daring?
See, I'm gonna put it this way. I'm still not a Bo Nix fan. I feel like it's a system. And I feel like Jared Stidham, it's Sean Payton.
Yeah.
I think Denver has the same amount of chance they had with Stidham as they did with Bo Nix. And here's the thing. I still think New England's just the better team. I think New England's going to win if Bo Nix was starting. I just feel like Denver keeps finding ways to win games. New England just wins games. You know, that's the big difference with me. But again, it's in Denver.
Is Jared Stidham more Jared Stidham or is he more Nick Foles? If he's Nick Foles, they can pull this off at home. Yeah. But if he's Jared Stidham, they're going to lose. I thought the Broncos would lose with Bo Nix, so I got to stick with the Patriots here too. I think.
Yeah, I'm going with the Patriots, man. The Patriots, they're just clicking on all cylinders. So the Super Bowl, I got the Patriots and the Seahawks, part 2.
Yeah, I'm
gonna run the ball at the 1 yard line with Kenneth Walker III. I'm forecasting.
yes. Run the damn ball. You gotta we're not getting cute. There's no what's the guy named Darrell Bevel. I think they pretty much shamed him out to leave for an offensive coordinator job. So they said, "Oh hell no, like you say, be like foreshadowing, run the ball."
I really like the Seattle coach though, McDaniel, right? That's his name.
O'Donnell, no, not McDaniel.
Is it McDaniel? I think it's
boy,
McDaniel.
It's Gannon. No,
it's Randall McDaniel.
What?
Speaking of Minnesota Vikings, I know the Vikings are sitting there in Minnesota right now. I know they are kicking themselves in the ass for not giving Sam Darnold that money and letting him walk.
Are we really looking at a Super Bowl with Sam Darnold against either Jared? Could you imagine if the Broncos win? We're going to get the Darnold Stidham showdown.
Yeah.
The coach of the Seahawks is Mike McDonald.
Mike McDonald. Okay.
McDonald. I'm loving it. All right.
Cut that check.
He's a good coach, man. He's got these guys playing really well. That Seattle defense has like no holes in it. Yeah. They'll probably win the whole thing. I just can't come off of my Rams pick because I went there too long ago.
But, fellas, it just hit me. Where do we pick Seattle to finish before in the preseason?
Well, let me see if I.
Weren't they going to be like third in the division with a trip to the playoffs? Or we weren't too sold on them? Or
Um, it looks like. Let's see.
Scotty D got his notes. I should have mentioned this earlier in the pre-production meeting.
It looks like
Hey, we here.
not one of us had them in the playoffs.
I'll be damned. I knew it.
I think I picked Arizona to be dead last in that division, but I don't think. Yeah, I think I might have went with the trifecta out of the NFC North to make it to the playoffs. I don't remember.
B-Live, you picked the 49ers to win the West, and in the playoffs you had the Rams, the Packers, and Washington.
Ugh, all right.
But I said, ugh.
Eddie Cool, you had the Rams. I had the Rams to win the division. And let's see. I had the 49ers, also Washington, and the Lions in the playoffs. And Eddie Cool, you had Washington. We all had Washington, 49ers, and Lions in the playoffs. My Super Bowl pick was Bills over the Rams. Actually, I had mine says Eagles and Rams. I'm not sure why. If I maybe
Eagles and the Rams.
Hey, just say when in doubt, pick them all.
Yeah. Eddie Cool had Kansas City over Philly, and B-Live had the Ravens over the Eagles.
Ooh. Oh boy.
Things really change from August until the weather gets cold.
You had to remind me about the Ravens. It's good. God.
Well, they were one kick away from making that run.
Yep.
Harbaugh still being employed.
Yeah, he still would have been in.
He is employed again, but I mean,
yeah.
The previous team.
Fellas, what do we think about us? I don't know how much time we got left before we go into the choice of the voices. These coaching hires. So Harbaugh goes to the Giants and Stefanski goes to Atlanta. Be Live, we got to see Stefanski 2 years. I mean, we got to see Stefanski
twice a year. Twice a year.
My bad. Twice a year. So what do we think about those hires? What do we think about that the Harbaugh hire to the Giants? Any thoughts on that?
I think the Harbaugh fire. A hire. Wow. Harbaugh hire to the Giants is absolutely fire. I think the Giants, I feel like the energy with the Giants was already there. They suffered injuries. If they get Scatterboo, get him back. Jackson Dart at the helm. Wando Robinson has emerged as a threat along with Malik Neighbors. They can make noise, and add a couple pieces on the defensive side of the ball. John Harbaugh knows a little bit about that as well. I think the Cowboys are going to be dead last in the division next year.
Whoa, hot takes. Got a DI. That's your division rival. How do you feel about it?
I'm not worried about Harbaugh. I'm not worried about him. I'm more worried that Jara is still alive. That's what I'm most worried about.
That's why they're going to be in last place.
Yeah, probably. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue on behalf of Jara.
No.
For crying out. I did want to mention. Okay, so here's what I just figured out.
Okay.
My preseason pick was the Bills over the Eagles. On December 8th, we all repicked, and then I stuck with the Bills against the Rams. B-Live, at that point, you picked the Patriots and Rams, and Eddie, you picked the Patriots and Rams. We all modified on December 8th. That's where we're at. And actually, preseason, we all chose our worst team in the NFC. We all picked the Saints, and then I had underneath it Seahawks as my second choice of worst teams in the NFC.
Yeah. So we got it wrong. So we counted the Steelers out. We counted the Seahawks out. What else did we count out that made us have a pie on our face this year? Just those two. I think it was just those two.
We all picked the Chiefs to win the AFC West. That didn't work out.
Yeah. Scotty D, I will applaud you for that. For that honesty, you could have not ever mentioned that ever again. The Seahawks is the second worst. Like,
yeah, I was had them in contention for one of the worst teams in the NFC.
So that right there ranks alongside me wanting to have Anthony Richardson to the Panthers and completely blocked it out of my mind.
No,
Yeah, it
God,
actually
no.
doesn't come close to that whatsoever.
Yes. I think about this.
You can't shower the stink of Anthony Richardson off of you. That would stick it away.
So wild. And how many times was I on this show and said that I never said that? and this dude right here pulls up the receipt. I'm always like,
well, I might have never done it, but your head was getting big about something, so I had to bring it back down to earth. So.
Scotty D said, "I'm fitting to fix this right now." What did he say here? What?
He brought out the CVS receipt. You know them things are extra long. Yeah. I was like, ooh, I know not to have Scotty D on my bad side. My bad.
I think Scotty D, when did you unearth that? Was it sometime between like Christmas and New Year's Eve? Was it?
Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago. Yeah, it was a couple weeks ago.
You know, I think when I was in South Carolina, and I was laying in the room, and I was like, God, dog.
He had the transcript. Like,
yeah,
I said that.
I just looked at the phone and I was like, oh boy.
I knew you had done it. I remembered you saying I knew you'd done it.
I blocked that out of my mind.
I don't blame you.
So sometimes you got to. But let's
talk to Button. Let's talk to Button.
Huh? Well, actually, I'm gonna get my take on the two hires.
Yeah. Jump in.
I'm along with B Live as far as like the whole Giants hire. Some people's like, what is this? But I think there's talent in New York. The thing about the talent is it needs the right type of coaching. And you bring in a coach that has won a Super Bowl and has been successful on the job for 18 years. He just couldn't get over the hump. And I just hope you don't bring Todd Monken with him because they'll be like, well, we got to put Cam. We can't put Cam Scatterbo in, even though he'll lead the league in rushing. We can't run. You can't do dumb stuff like that. So as long as Harbaugh doesn't do anything dumb or silly, I think they'll be fine. Year one gonna be hell. They're gonna catch hell year one. I ain't gonna lie to you. So year one is gonna be brutal. Kevin Stefanski. I just hope that I think Atlanta has a more. This might sound crazy, but I think they have a more stable quarterback situation than what they had in Cleveland.
That's not a big step, but I don't think it's much more stable.
I was gonna say that is such a low bar.
Yeah. I think you're correct.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely correct.
Yeah, because up here in Cleveland, man, with Stefanski, it was just too much going on, and I think Stefanski was like, "How long is it going to take for me to get my ass up out of here?" I think Stefanski, if you ask me, I think he. At some point in the season, I think Stefanski packed it up, was ready to get the hell out of damn Berea and get the hell out of Cleveland. I'm not going to lie to you because it was just one thing after another. We're going to put this quarterback in. We're going to put that quarterback in. And I don't think Stefanski had any say over the roster. I think the coach at some extent should have some kind of say over the roster because you got to think about it. He won Coach of the Year twice. So the man knows what he's doing. It's just the fact that the organization and the coach, they have to meet in the middle. Along with the GM, they all have to meet in the middle as opposed to we going to give Shador a bad set of wristbands. Kevin Stefanski's like, I don't give a damn. This is crazy. And it was a mess. So
these are the Haslam's you're talking about. Just remember that.
And but it's true. It's just
the Haslam's.
Yeah, the Haslam's. It's just
$230 million. Haslam's.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
Yeah, and then what are they gonna do to Deshaun Watson? What's Cleveland gonna do? But anyways, as far as Atlanta goes, B Live, Atlanta, they've showed signs of glimpses of hope of being pretty good during the season, but they couldn't do it against the Carolina Panthers. But you mollywop Buffalo. You know, I mean, it is what it is.
I don't like Stefanski in Atlanta because I think he actually is going to make them a competitive team. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, which means
which that's supposed to say is that's the fan side of me.
Yeah,
like as an analyst, yeah. I think Stefanski will do some damage in Atlanta, and I don't like it. I said what I said.
Sean McDermott, if you ever want to come back to Carolina to be a defensive coordinator, you can do that because
Well, the teams are actually asking the Panthers to interview Avero, the our defensive coordinator, for a head coaching position. I feel like that's a little Rooney rule, but that's cool. But I'm just can you see him as a head coach, Avero?
no,
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 that's
no,
that's wild to me.
no.
I
I can't.
mean,
I can't.
he's done better at the defensive coordinator position. Panthers are better this year than were last year. But nah, I don't see him as a head coach.
As we know, some coordinators they do not make that seamless and easy transition to head coach. Some coordinators are going to be coordinators, and that's where you max out at, i.e. Charlie Weiss, i.e. Romeo Cornell, i.e. Visor Man, Josh McDaniels, that wears his visor inside of a dome stadium and dresses like a 5-year-old.
Sir, you're going down a dark path.
My bad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. My bad. All right. All right. With that being said, looking at my watch, guess what time it is?
What time is it? Let me see what's happening over here. What's going on?
Well, after the break, after we come back, I'm glad you asked. It's time once again for our favorite portion of the show, the choices of the voices. With that being said, hey, yo, Button, hit it. Choices of the voices coming right back at you after this break on the Sports Bros Podcast. We don't get no SmackDown Fist, be live. No SmackDown Fist. There it is. There it is.
And now, our favorite part of the show, the choices of the voices.
wonderful, and
Ever so lovely.
Miss Button for introducing our favorite portion of the show, the choices of the voices. Now, 300 plus episodes, y'all know how we do it, all right? We ask y'all a question, y'all give us the answer, and we talk about it here. If your answer does not align with what we ask you, to the sin bin you go, aka the penalty box. With that being said, what Scott?
We correct you.
Yeah, we get you together. With that being said, Scotty D, what's on Tickety Tap for this week's choices of the voices?
All right. So, in light of all the coaching vacancies last week, I asked if your team needed a head coach, or if you are one of those teams seeking a head coach, which of the available head coaches that were out there would you like to hire? And timeout red. Before we go any further, I should have said this at the beginning of the show. I meant to and forgot, but happy King Day to my two brothers. How can I be sitting here working with two African-American gentlemen, two upstanding citizens, and not acknowledge Martin Luther King Day? So I don't know.
Easy on that upstanding stuff. I don't know.
Oh, that's right. You're going out. We'll see how the night goes.
Wait a minute. You said stand up. Did you say stand up? I don't know how I'm going to do the podcast like this, but I'll try. Yeah, Scotty D, what's on tap for this week's choices? What's on tap, man?
All right, so that was the question of the week. It was for coaches, and I kind of posted a little bit late. I got a little bit lost in the week and thought I had posted it, as sometimes I do, and posted late. So we didn't get very many answers, but we got a couple. What did those couple of people say?
Remind me to turn this auto zoom off for the camera, because I'm over here looking like
six head.
Yeah, yep. You got jokes. Be Live, get up, Be Live, get up, cut it out. Dave Gillick, get your ish together, Be Live. Dave Gullick says, wouldn't mind Big Mike McCarthy in Pittsburgh. Air quotes, offensive mindset, or as Uncle Max likes to call him, Mac BLT.
Woo! That would be a dream come true for me. I think this is a favor interview, because McCarthy's from Pittsburgh. There ain't no way in hell they're gonna hire that old McNugget to come coach the Steelers into the future. I can't see. I think the Rooneys like going with somebody young who can be here for 50. They don't like coaching hires. They've had 3 coaches since I've been alive.
Since we've been alive.
Yeah. Well, I'm older, so that just goes to show you. Yeah. I'm 10 years older than you. The 3 coaches since I've been alive. So I gotta believe the Rooneys are going to go young, and they're not going to go with Mike McCarthy. I think the ideal situation for the Steelers, and I'm going to predict this is where this is going to go, because they were interviewing everybody on McVay's staff. Rooney, the second last week, said, I like McVay. It'd be silly not to consider people on his coaching tree. I think he's going to bring Shula and Shieldhouse, both from them. I think it's going to be Shula's going to be the head coach, and Shieldhouse is going to be a coordinator, and that's how they're going to do it.
That's the brother from the Rams, right? With the
yeah.
Okay, yeah. I thought his name was like Shalassi or something like that, but yeah.
That way they get two for the price of one. I think that's what they're going to do. But I'm surprised anybody would say they want Mike McCarthy at this point. That surprises me.
Mac BLT.
Yeah.
I wish we could find the soundbite when that news was breaking and Scotty D was losing his mind. All right. The best name in the game, JoJo Comfort, with a paragraph. And here we go. All right. So real quick, he said, I believe the Steelers will give Brian Flores a long look. Even though they've only had 3 coaches since 1969, 3 coaches were rather young when they were hired. So that trend should continue. Offensive-minded head coaches are the trend, but Pittsburgh has traditionally hung their hat on defense. This is very true, which makes Flores an appealing hire based on his experience. I also believe Chris Shula, there's another one, will likely get the look as well. I also wouldn't mind seeing Clay Kubiak, the son of Gary Kubiak, getting the nod. An offensive-minded coach is what I think would be able to get them competitive given some time. So he gave us a few of them there. He gave us Clay Kubiak and Chris Shula.
I'm not sure that Kubiak is on that hiring list. There's like 8 coaches they were going to talk to, but Flores is only 44 years old. So He's young. I thought he was older than that because it seemed like that thing with Miami happened years ago, but he was a young hire to begin with. I just keep hearing that has personality issues. I heard that some of that got cleared up in Minnesota, that he had matured and had taken some right steps. And I heard something, I don't know, but I think the guy can coach, man. I think the Steelers can do a lot worse than hiring that guy.
Just think, if Miami would have listened to Brian Flores, go get Justin Herbert and not Tuna turning the ball over.
Oof.
Is Justin Herbert doing that much better?
Speaking of Justin Herbert,
made the playoffs a couple times anyway.
I know this is the choices of the voices. You remember that question I asked a while back, guys? I'm like, is this a make or break season where Justin Herbert stays in the top 10?
He's not.
Saying it's just one of those. The only difference between Justin Herbert and Tua Tagovailoa right now is concussions. And really, if you really want to break it down brass tacks, what my dude name? Kansas City then went to Miami.
Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill. He wasn't lying that Tua accuracy wise, it's a better quarterback. He just, numbers don't lie.
Yes.
Is this one of those things? Tua's brain is mashed potatoes, so it diminishes his value. But we can talk about that for days. But
he's too little.
I think Miami moves on from Tua.
That's absolutely.
Welcome to Pittsburgh, Tua.
Oh boy.
Frozen fish. You see how that turns out. All right, so here we go. We got Sandy Heinerman, and Sandy Heinerman says, on this day in football history.
Yeah. I included this just for this story because I'm Scotty D. Please tell me about this, sir.
Pittsburgh beat Dallas in the Super Bowl 1976 is the game your dad bet Dallas would win. Ask him, Scott. If they lose, he would run up Donovan half naked, and we let him wear his long johns. We lined the street to watch. Those were the days. So apparently Sandy and Sports Dad, your father, Scotty D, Jerry, they made a bet.
Yes. Her husband worked with my dad, and that was Super Bowl 13. And yeah, that was one of my earliest sports memories is the Steelers beat the Cowboys 35-31 in Super Bowl 13, and looking out the window, and there's my dad running up and down the street, no shirt on.
Some long johns.
I don't remember if he had on long johns or jeans or what, but I know he had no shirt on. That was the bet. He had to run up and down the street we live on with no shirt on.
Oh God, that ain't
and that's penalty box for her for putting that. That has nothing to do with the question.
All that personal information
had nothing to do with. I love my father.
Yeah,
I love him, and that wasn't right for him to have to do that.
He lost the bet.
Jackie Smith dropped the ball, and it shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened that way. And now you understand why I root against the Steelers so harshly, because there you go, another Steeler fan bringing up just yet another great memory.
I'm gonna throw out this memory as well because I witnessed this firsthand. A good friend of mine, Wesley Carter, he's a diehard Seahawks fan, and when the Seahawks won the Super Bowl, he's a Seahawks fan. He actually bet that if the Seahawks won the Super Bowl, he would run around the parking lot behind the bowling alley that I go to bowl on Monday nights at B&B Bowling Lanes here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And he'd run around the parking lot naked. And he absolutely did so. All of it.
He was joyful, though. That was a joyful jaunt. That was a joyful jaunt for him.
But he's not the youngest person in the world. I'm like, yo, my man's. He literally does. Oh Lord, this is really.
So no one tried to talk him into at least putting his drawers on before he did.
I think
I would have been willing to be graceful in that situation.
He was too far gone. I was like, this is really happening, and boy,
ladies and gentlemen,
bare ass.
Naked ass. Welcome to the sport. Welcome to the Sports Bros podcast.
We are way off track.
Not your average sports
way
podcast.
off track.
Ain't got nothing to do with the coaches that we want to hire.
No,
none of that.
But this is great though. This is some of that off-season content that we need. All right, so let's put the good draws back on and get back to
get me out of this podcast, Eddie. Get me out of here.
All right, so Zach Zorba said the Bears cover 3.5.
Yeah, that's that. We're scrapping now. That was nothing.
I put him on there just to throw him into the penalty box.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what are we talking about? There was some other stuff in the middle of it that he was doing a monologue for some. That man, that almost a permanent ban because he was just trying to be thrown into the penalty box. Yeah. I was like, does he even know what the penalty box is? He just
I don't know. He's a good friend of mine from California University of Pennsylvania. So,
I just threw him up there just so we can throw him into the penalty box.
All right.
Stop it.
Slide over, Sandy. You got company. All right, so shout out to Dave and JoJo Comfort, Sandy for the memory, and Zach Zorba for being ZZ Zach Zorba. All right. With that being said, Scotty D, what say you? Coaching hires, who you got? What you think?
You know what? When the Cowboys got blown out by the Packers in the playoffs a couple years ago, I said, now is the year. Let's go get either Jim Harbaugh or Mike Vrabel. Let's get one of those two guys. Jared decided, I'm going to go with McCarthy again for another year. That didn't work. So then when he left Dallas last year, I said, let's go get Ben Johnson. And he didn't even make a call for him. Instead, he went down and knocked on someone's office door and said, you're going to be our new head coach. So having said that, the Cowboys don't need a head coach, but just to keep it short and simple, I would probably say Flores right now. Be live.
Okay.
All right. Well, we're in the same boat because Brian Flores is a proven head coach as well as a proven defensive coordinator. Then he had his little dust up with the NFL that sort of put him on the naughty list for a second there. But that does not take away from his coaching ability. And I would absolutely welcome Brian Flores as my head coach. And I'm going to say this right now, as a Carolina Panthers fan, Dave Canales as my dude. I'm happy with the direction that the team is going. I'm absolutely happy with that. Now, our defense coordinator situation, not so sure about it. So, I mean, I would welcome Brian Flores as a defensive coordinator. But the thing about this, he would be silly to leave for a lateral move.
Exactly.
He's a head coach. He's definitely head coach material, and I would be hard pressed for him. He's getting, and by the way, he's on his way to a second interview with the Steelers. So that could very well be a possibility.
He was there last year. He was with the Steelers last year before going to Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
He spent a year under Tomlin and then moved on to Minnesota. So
and that's also another thing that Tomlin also has endorsed Brian Flores. Like Tomlin has actually spoken out and to support Brian Flores when he was having that dust up with the NFL with the discrimination and the losses, whatnot like that. So that almost seems like how people feel about Tomlin right now. Do they want heir apparent, so to speak? But Brian Flores has proven, and I think he would do an excellent job with the Steelers. Steelers love smash mouth football, and Brian Flores is known for that. So, hey, I know offense sells tickets, defense wins championships. I keep saying that. Yes, sir. Eddie Cool, what say you?
Clean sweep within the next 24 to 48 hours. Breaking news. The Pittsburgh Steelers announced that Brian Flores is the new head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Just based off of everything you guys said, from the smash mouth football, the Tomlin endorsement, to him being young, and who knows, Scotty D, Brian Flores might be around for another 20 years. And as long as we've been alive, we'll be over like, well, damn, Pittsburgh has only had 4 coaches in the last, 50 plus years?
60 at that point in time.
Yeah. At that point in time, they only, what is this? We don't see that often. I mean,
could happen.
I'm trying to think. Let me see. Eddie Robinson been at Grambling since ever, and it's a long time we take the 4 off it. So yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised at all. But
here's what could work in his advantage: that the Rams won again, and that could be delaying their coordinators from interviewing with the Steelers again, because they all did Zoom interviews last week. I don't think they have been to Pittsburgh. I think they all did Zoom interviews, but
yeah. So if the Rams keep winning, I mean, I think the job is Flores. I think it's his at this point, because you start looking at everybody and what do you think about Mike McDaniel? Nah, I can't see Mike McDaniel no black and yellow. No, he don't like the cold. I mean, Miami took a toll on him. He was part of Tony Montana's entourage. So yeah, I'm rolling with Flores to Pittsburgh. With that being said, that does it for another edition of the Choices of the Voices. But before we go, Scotty D, what's on tap for next week?
Well, in light of that incredible play we saw Caleb Williams make on Sunday night at the near conclusion of the game to send the game into overtime, we'll ask you, where does that rank among incredible postseason plays that you've ever seen? Is that the most incredible play you've ever seen in postseason football, or is there a miracle, so to speak, that you may have seen that you might think be crazier? Hey, whatever you think is like the craziest, most incredible play you've seen in postseason history. We'll talk about that next.
We've seen quite a few of them. And that about does it for the Choices of the Voices. Coming up next, be live. Grab that pepper grinder. It's time for a round of pepper. Coming next right here on the Sports Bros Podcast. Quit all that sneezing over there.
Okay, boys, let's bring it home with a round of pepper.
Once again, actually, no, wrong segment. I don't know what
ever so lovely.
That was one segment ago.
Oh.
All right, y'all heard a woman. It's time for us to go home and get what I call the hell up out of here. But before we go, a round of pepper. You know how we do it. Rapid fire, kind of, sort of, not really. 3 topics. I'm all discombobulated here to enlighten, engage, educate, and entertain. The 4 E's in no particular order. With that being said, y'all, I'll go first. All right. On this day in history, in the year 2000, Michael Jordan, who led the Chicago Bulls to 6 NBA championships as a player, returns to the NBA, joining the Washington Wizards as part owner and president of basketball operations. And didn't he score 19 points per game when he was playing still at the age of 38 or something like that? Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, Michael Jordan couldn't stay away. Over to you, Scotty D.
I mentioned Seinfeld being one of my favorite shows. There was an episode where Kramer brought a date to watch Jerry do stand-up comedy, and she booed him and hissed him and taunted him. And so George said, why don't you go to where she works and heckle her? So Jerry did that. Jerry went to where she works, and he heckled and booed her back. Well, Giannis Antetokounmpo maybe saw that episode. Last Tuesday, the Milwaukee Bucks were trailing the Timberwolves 76-45 at halftime, and they were getting booed off the floor. In the third quarter, Giannis got fouled for an and one, and he booed them back. He said, I'm booing you, fans. I'm booing you. Whenever I get booed, I boo back. Kudos to the Greek freak for booing his own fans. He might be booing his way out of Milwaukee. Be live, over to you.
He's out of there. That is a foregone conclusion as I saw that. I was like,
the fans. It was great.
Yeah, when you start booing your own fans, it's time to go. Yeah, he tired of them cold ass Milwaukee winters because it's cold in Milwaukee. It is cold.
Oh man. The Mediterranean waters of Greece. He probably missed it.
Was it Mykonos, Mykonos,
the Mykonos,
Stepanopolis, all that? My bad. Go ahead, Peter. Go ahead.
My first pepper point, Scotty D. I bring bad news to you, and screw the NCAA for being 10 years too late with everything that they do. But in light of the point shaving scandal that is flowing through the NCAA and all the things right now, after all of this, the NCAA finally asked a federal regulatory body to stop prediction markets from offering trades on college sports until more safeguards are in place. No, Sherlock, you're telling me all these big wigs in all these conference rooms didn't think that this was going to be a problem for these kids when you introduce legal sports betting? Nobody has done their research. Nobody has studied how historically, you have hundreds of years of back study on how gambling affects the sport. And now you want to be like, oh, maybe we shouldn't have these prop bets and these prediction markets affecting college games. Wow. Now you ask for the NCAA? And the name of the Federal Regulation Committee, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. What?
The hell out of here.
And the NCAA president, Charlie Baker, said the growth of prediction markets poses a threat to the well-being of student athletes as well as the integrity of competition. Everything that the NCAA hasn't done is a threat to the integrity of competition. All of it. I got a second pepper point about that. Eddie Cool, the ball.
What did they say? I told somebody a while back, like, you know what? Everybody knew this but you. Everybody knew this but you. All right. Continuing on my historical approach, fellas, on this day in history back in 2014, just take a wild guess what happened.
Today, 2014.
NFL football playoffs.
Yeah. The Saints and Vikings play?
No, but wrong teams, right conference. On this day in history, the NFC Championship game at CenturyLink Field, the Seattle Seahawks beat the San Francisco 49ers 23-7, and that's when Richard Sherman told he told Aaron Andrews, "Don't you ever try me with a sorry ass receiver like Crabtree." And as they say,
I remember that. Yeah,
the rest is history. And I think they posted a picture of them of Aaron Andrews and Richard Sherman reuniting. That was pretty cool. So yeah,
another all NFC West NFC Championship.
Yep. We got us another, man. We got us another. And remember, don't you ever try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree. LOB. Over to you, Scotty D.
Last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, I said that I thought the Penn State wrestling team was the team of the year for 2025. Well, Friday night they faced their biggest test at Iowa, where they won 32-3. Even the top-ranked Angelo Ferrari, number 1 at 184, was upset by Rocco Welsh. Iowa had one win, 3-2 decision in the entire night, and Penn State has now won 79 straight matches, 5 straight versus Iowa. The Nittany Lions in wrestling are a runaway train. I don't know how they can be stopped. Be Live, over to you.
Scotty, I got. That's the second time you mentioned something about Penn State. I got to start getting into
folks on yeah. They are not playing around.
Mm-mm.
I told you I had a second pepper point on how the NCAA is just ridiculous and inept and don't have no idea how to do their job. But now this one is personal. My second pepper point. A linebacker by the name of Luke Farrelly, originally attended school at University of California, Berkeley.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
The Golden Bears of Cal entered the transfer portal. And my beloved Clemson Tigers, we're new to this whole transfer portal thing. And so we're out here doing our thing, our pitch and everything. So Luke Farrelly commits to the Clemson Tigers. He enrolls into classes. He's going to class. He is signed in 10. He's at class. You would think at this point in time, his transfer window has closed. Well, according to the NCAA not having any rules in place for anything, no, it has not. And guess what? Now you got a Spitfire to deal with, because apparently Ole Miss decided that they wanted to reach out to Luke Farrelly and offer him, of course, some money to say, hey, bro, I know you're taking classes. I know you signed with Clemson, but how about you come over to Ole Miss? We'll take care of all that legal stuff and all the financial stuff. We'll get you, pluck you out, and you can come to Ole Miss. My sympathy for Ole Miss is going completely out the window when it comes to what that boy named Lane Kiffin.
Lane Kiffin, yeah.
Ole Miss, wow, really? And according to multiple sources, Luke Farrelly is now headed toward Ole Miss, even though he committed to Clemson. Dabo Swinney is not happy at all. Stay tuned because he's coming with it. He says he has receipts. He has all the evidence. And when he comes out, college football landscape, be prepared because he's not playing around. Stay tuned. Dabo has entered the chat when it comes to tampering.
Is he still with
And don't do that. Don't
we
do
still
that.
have him? He's still
Look at his face. Look at his face. I wish I could have screenshot that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Don't do that. Eddie Cool. The ball.
All right, fellas. Another historic event happened on this day in history, way back in 1974. Notre Dame beats UCLA 71-70 in South Bend, Indiana. And you know why this win is significant? Think about it. UCLA during the 70s, what did they do?
They won the championship every year.
That too.
I thought that was the 60s.
And the 70s.
And the 70s.
They had Bill Walton.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Rest in peace, Bill Walton. I still can't believe he gone. God. Notre Dame beat UCLA, and it puts in they are the one in 88-1.
Oh, okay.
Yep. They hang their first loss to the Bruins for the first time in forever. So can the state of Indiana shock the world again tonight and bring home a national football championship?
They don't feel like it's a shock when they're 15-0.
I'm just
I
like
know
I said last week, it's a traditional basketball school, but a perennial loser in football. But it's like, well, can they shock the world? I mean, Fernando Mendoza. Oh yeah, real quick, he was Fernando Mendoza. He transferred from Cal, University of California, Berkeley, and now he is a Hoosier and might be the number 1 overall pick in this year's NFL draft. Yep. So Notre Dame says, wait a minute, stop right there. We are the one in 88-1. Over to you, Scotty D.
Speaking of basketball teams that lost, Pitt lost to Louisville on Saturday night 100-59. 100-59 on ESPN2. Okay, Derek Shelton, gone. Mike Sullivan, gone. Mike Tomlin, gone. Jeff Capel, don't get too comfortable, buddy. Start asking around if you can find some cardboard boxes. Because you got to go. Be live. Over to you.
He's going back to Fayetteville.
Go somewhere. I don't care.
All right. My third and final pepper point. I told you.
He took the glasses off. He was serious about that thing.
My third and final pepper point, as I mentioned to my bros in a pre-production meeting, I'm not playing around with this one. Yeah, we always do, Scott.
AKA the group chat.
Where was I? Okay.
Jeez. Have you just want to ask you a quick question leading up into my third and final pepper. Have you guys ever stayed in an Airbnb?
I haven't. Nope.
Neither one of y'all have stayed in there? You should try it out. I mean, it's a nice alternative to staying in a hotel.
Okay.
But I say that because the co-founder of Airbnb is one of the talking points in this third and final pepper point. He goes by the name of Brian Chesky. He's one of the co-founders of Airbnb. The reason why he's the third and final pepper point is because of the school that he attended and the sport that he played. He graduated from the Rhode Island School of Design in 2004, where he played hockey for the Rhode Island School of Design. Now, you would think that's why is that a pepper point? The pepper point is not what he did, is what he played, but what he did for the team. The name of the team is the Rhode Island Nads. That's the name of the team. It gets better. He was Brian Chesky was the captain of the hockey team. He also designed the mascot of the Nads.
Oh no.
And the name of the mascot of the Rhode Island Nads, his name is Scrody. And you can
And the fans are chanting, "Go Nads, go Nads."
Oh no, it gets better. The fans would chant, "The Scrodies are your dads." And the fans would, the other side of the fans were like, "We effed your moms."
Get me out of this podcast, Eddie. Get me out of here.
The Rhode Island School of Design, the Nads, Brian Chesky design of the unofficial mascot, Scrody. You can only imagine what the mascot looks like. Yes, it is absolutely true. Yes, all of it. Mental picture in your head, the Nads and Scrody. I'm probably going to get kicked off the podcast for this, but it's been fun. Third and final pepper point. That's what I do.
Go to church live this Sunday. Bringing that one up. You have to go to church.
Go Nads.
Oh God. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, Be Live tried to kill me and you damn near witness it. With that being said, that does it for another nadtastic episode of the Sports Bros podcast. Thank you for rating, reviewing, subscribing, and listening and watching as well too. And in closing, do something nice for yourself. And if you can, do something nice for someone else. They're greatly appreciated. Now, more than ever, be a blessing, not a burden. Stay warm. Be nice to each other. And just do your best, day in and day out. It's been another episode of your favorite sports podcast, the Sports Bros Podcast. It's nadtastic, baby. Be Live, take us home. The Nads.
Yes, sir. The Nads are your dads. We F your mom. The Nads are your dads. We F your mom.
And see, that's what makes like covering games fun, because you see stuff like that. I mean, I thought Start the Buses was funny, but that Nad stuff, nadtastic. Hey, y'all take care. See you next week. We out.
Scrody.
Wow.
I'm supposed to fade out the show.